but to his real heart. The protagonist looked ahead with a piercing gaze and realized that it was about the real heart. He imagined Arcus hugging his wife with trepidation. At the same time, Julian reached out to Sarazed during the wedding. All the other guys looked at him with a smile and trepidation. The main character lowered his head with a grim grin. Then, under the shining light of the city, he looked at the captain and asked to borrow his boat and asked him to take him to the area of the Mermaid Kingdom. At first, there was no love or anything, and all he wanted was to earn money and fill his stomach. The brown-haired man with a parrot on his shoulder grinned and said that this was not possible, because now is not the time to catch whales. The main character took out a bag of shining coins and said that money is no longer a problem. The captain immediately took the bag with a smile and said that they would go straight. And the ship sailed on the stormy sea, and they arrived. Then his silhouette climbed the mast under the moonlight, and he sailed the sea for a whole month, deliberately not traveling on a dragon or a dove because the mermaids could feel threatened. The protagonist sadly looked down at the colors of the moon and assumed that he was in despair, because laughter was unexpectedly given to someone who was originally supposed to be sad. The knight and the captain looked at the brown-haired man who climbed onto the bow of the ship and reported that their ship was already surrounded by mermaids because they coldly greeted uninvited guests. Lloyd looked back intently. The blue-haired guy sighed and understood that it was so because there were several thousand of them. A bunch of multicolored hair and heads began to appear in the water. His silhouette immediately spread his arms and began to fall into the water because he wished for the happy fate of his people. He began to sing a song, closing his eyes and falling into the water, wishing that the mermaids would help him. All the mermaids came out of the water and looked at him in surprise. Lloyd stood on the edge of the ship, spread his arms and sang. The mermaids immediately put on their natural faces and looked at him with trepidation. Xavier raised his head in surprise and looked at the notes. The main character pressed his hands to his chest and sang with all his heart under the moonlight, radiating sincerity. The mermaids continued to look at him with trepidation. Then, all of them started bleeding from their ears. One of the mermaids pierced his nose